welcome to my tarot corner. So before I start, I wanted to show you the devil card in this deck. This is the Lost Tarot of Nostradamus. And the reason I wanted to show you that, the devil card, is because I always tell you that behind every hierophant there is a devil looming, and behind every devil there is a hierophant looming. And just look at this devil card. I was looking at, getting this deck in order, and I happened to see the devil card, and I just saw the hierophant that is looming behind the devil, and it's exactly as my mentor, as my teacher taught us, that the hierophant and the devil are connected, they are linked, and there is a devil behind, looming behind every hierophant, and behind every hierophant there is a devil. And it's important. Why is it important? Because we are going to talk about King Charles's reign, and many people wanted me to do a reading about his reign and how is it going to be, and how long will it be. So I'm not sure if I can tell you how long it's going to be, but I am going to do a Celtic cross, the 11 card Celtic cross that I did from the book of the 1001 spreads, in order to look into Charles's reign for the next year. And the reason I'm using the Nostradamus decks, both the tarot and the oracle, is because, right after the coronation, I started hearing people talking about the Nostradamus prophecy that was heard after the Queen died, that prophecy predicted the death of Queen Elizabeth in 2022 and the abdication of her successor right after his coronation. And actually they said that, or at least the prophecy said, that the person that will succeed him will be his second son and not his first son. So that is kind of worrying, and I kind of not accepting that. But let's first see what can we expect from King Charles's reign for the next year. We know Celtic crosses are usually good for maximum a year, not more than that. So let's start. Right now I'm shuffling the deck. Now I have to say that this deck is kind of complicated to work with because the suits are, they are, once you know this, you know how to work with them, and you know the names of the suits, and then it's okay. The court cards, I will need to take a look at the book, but I also have the book here with me because if I do get a major arcana, I would like to look at the quatrains that are, the quatrains are Nostradamus's predictions. That's how he made them. He wrote these quatrains. Usually it was written in French and sometimes in Latin, and these were very cryptic, usually for lines and rhymed, so it was kind of songs, and it wasn't very easy to understand, and usually his predictions were easier to understand in retrospect. So it's not very easy to look at his predictions and say what is going to happen. So, but I am interested to read the quatrains that are related to the major arcanas and see how they relate to what we get in the in the reading and in the tarot. So if we do get a major arcana, I will look in the book for the quatrains. Okay, so before I start, please take a few moments to read my full disclaimer in the description box. This is a tarot reading. It is vibrational. It is open to interpretation. It exists as assumptions and speculation, and as such may or may not be true. So please do your own research and decide for yourselves. So first I'm going to clear the deck, as always. Sorry. And let's start asking. So what can we expect from King Charles's reign? King Charles's reign after he was coronated. What can we expect from King Charles's reign? King Charles's reign after the coronation. What is going to happen with the King Charles's reign? What can we expect from King Charles's reign? Okay, I did say that I won't do this reading until the coronation, but I will afterwards. So here it is. Okay. So the first card, and I'm taking the book near because it's written very small, is the context of the reading. So the context of the reading is the Seven of Stars. And the Seven of Stars, if I'm not mistaken, is the Seven of Swords. Let me just check. So yes, it is. The star suit is the sword suits. I always mix the stars and the moons. So yeah, the stars is the swords. So the Seven of Swords is about strategy and planning. And as you can see here, if we look very closely at this card, we see a map of Europe. We see a person that is holding a flower that looks like a lily, and if you remember, not a lily, a rose from if you remember the War of the Roses, there was the red rose and the white rose. It looks like the red rose from the War of the Roses. And there is this crown with this, well, I don't know exactly how to describe this, but it has a cross on top and this scarf here. But so this is a card that shows a person that is handing on a sword. But this is a card, when you're talking about the meaning of the tarot, it's about planning and strategy. And since we have the map behind, it is about a strategy. And the main theme of this reading, the context of this reading, it's about a strategy. It's about a plan, something that King Charles has planned for years. I mean, people are saying he waited for 70 years for this moment. He didn't wait for 70 years, but he waited for a very long time. At least 20 years, I think, that he's been waiting for this to happen. And he has a lot of plans. He has a lot of strategies. He has a lot of things that he has in his head and that he wants to implement. So this is about his plans. This is about his strategies. This is about him bursting with plans and things that he wants to implement, things that he wants to change, things that he wants to do. So he has a lot of things that he wants to do in England, in the UK, in the world. You do know that he is a part of the world, or was at least part of the World Forum, as far as I know. So it is part of his plans as well. I don't know if it's a good thing. I'm not so keen on that forum as I have to say. But I know that he is, and it's too work for me, but I think that this is why we get a map of Europe and not just a map of the UK, because he is looking globally, not only the Britain and the Commonwealth, but this could also be him thinking about, climate change, the things that William is working on as the in the Earthstroke Prize, and that he is working on things that are connected to changing the environment. So probably this is especially about planning and strategies, and this is the main context of this reading. Okay, so the next card is the question. So what is the question of the issue? And the question is the Eight of Sun. So the Eight of Sun, that is the Eight of Wands. Interesting, because the Eight of Wands is about being in the right place at the right time. This is about swift action. It's about quick actions. And the question here is, first of all, is King Charles the right man? Is it the right time? I mean, didn't he miss? Well, we call it to miss the train. Isn't it past his time? This is a question that we're asking. Isn't it better for him to make it quick and just abdicate and give the throne to William? So this is a part of the question, because when the Eight of Wands comes in the question place, we need to look at the negative aspects of this card. And the negative aspects of this card is a person that is making mistakes, a person that is reckless, a person that is acting too fast, a person that finds it difficult to cope under pressure. This is sometimes about quarrels, about difficulties, adjustment difficulties. I think that King Charles is adjusted. I don't think that it's adjustment difficulties for him. But I do think that he might not be the right man in this time. Maybe his plans and his strategies are not the right ones for Britain, but we will have to wait and see. This is the question. These are the obstacles that are standing in his way. He has to prove himself. He has to prove that he is the right man, that he is in the right time, that he is in the right place in the right time, that he's not acting too fast, that he's not reckless, that he's not making mistake, that that he does have the necessary qualifications to be the king, and that he is stable, that he is this is what he has to prove, that he's not acting too fast. So this is what he needs to prove, and this is the question. So I think that this sums it up very well. Okay, so what are the potential obstacles that are in his way on top of that? And what we're getting here is the Three of Stars. Okay, so the Three of Stars, that's the Three of Swords. It's destruction, it's failure, it's a destruction and failure that is known in advance because of because of not being able to cope with reality, because of being blind and not seeing reality in the right way. And when you are blind and you are not seeing reality, and then you are disengaged from reality. And if you are disengaged from reality, you can't cope with reality. And if you can't cope with reality, you end up in the Three of Swords energy, which is destruction and failure that is known in advance. And when it comes in the in the obstacles place, we need to look at the negative aspects of this card, which are even worse, which talk about a person that is destroying everything that he has built, a person that is making mistakes, a person that is confused. This is about a person that is deceiving himself and lets others deceive him and lets emotions control him. And this is something that he needs to be very, very conscious of, and very well, this card comes as this as a warning card. This is not a card that is saying that this is something that will happen. This card comes as a warning to King Charles to see reality as it is. And the remedy for this card, when it comes in the obstacles, the remedy is to open your eyes, to see reality, to make a list of all of the things that might get wrong. So it's about executing the Seven of Swords. It's about strategy and planning. It's about making those plans and being that very good-headed person that is seeing reality and is coping with reality. So this is what he needs to do. He needs to open his eyes. He needs to look at all of the warning that are there, all of the warning signs. He needs to finish the things that he's started, and he needs to be very, very aware of not acting and not overlooking things because of emotional reasons. And this is one thing that I think that it's connected to Harry, because Harry is his soft spot. And many people have been saying that after the coronation, it's time to deal with the Harry problem and with the Harry's titles problem. And I think that this is one of the things that King Charles needs to do, and needs to do fast. And I think that this card comes here as a reminder that he can't let his feelings be in his way. He can't let his emotions lead him, and he can't let his emotions disrupt his way of dealing with Harry and Meghan. And I hear that now Meghan wants to be called a worldwide icon. So she is completely out of control. Now, if we look at this card has a cross and two, I don't know what it is exactly. I don't know how to call these. Let's see what we see here. Nothing that I can really, well, there is the pie here. Well, it's mostly, I think, a card that is telling King Charles to be very, very aware of not letting his emotions lead him. Okay, next card is the root of the matter, the root of everything that is connected to his reign. And we're getting, okay, the Six of Vessels, I think, and that's the Six of Pentacles, if I'm not mistaken. Just let me check. Okay, so this is not, this is spheres, and spheres is pentacles. And this is the Six of Pentacles, as I said. And the Six of Pentacles, we all know what it means. It is about getting what you are giving. It's about charity. It's about giving and getting what you deserve. So we know that Charles is giving a lot to charity. We know that Charles is about, and the monarchy is about supporting charity. This card is about, and this is the basis of the monarchy as it is today, it's about charity. It's about giving and receiving. But this card is also about being in the right place at the right time. So this cements the fact that Charles is the right man for the job as it is right now. So I think that this card is proving to us that the question here is answered by the root of the matter, that he is the right man. He is in the right place at the right time. He is giving and he is receiving what he deserves. So he's not a mean person. He's not someone that is not giving. He is a very generous person. And this is about getting what he deserves. So he deserves that. Okay. The next card is the head of the matter, or the spiritual things, or the things that are in his mind. And we are getting here the Eight of Stars. Interesting, because the Eight of Stars, it's about, it's the Eight of Swords. It's about shackles, and mostly emotional shackles. So it's interesting because Harry said that his father and his brother are not free, that they are shackled. And it seems like this is how he is feeling. This is how he sees himself. So he sees himself as someone who didn't have a choice, someone who is emotionally bound to this job, someone who couldn't say, I don't want to, or I can't, or I want to go out. And this is about emotional shackles, because the Eight of Swords is a card that usually shows that there is a way out. And the way out is kind of easy. And in the usual Eight of Swords, we see a woman that is very loosely bound and can get out of the shackles. And here we see that the way out is open, but there is a gap here. Okay, so there is a ravine. So there is this, the fortress is, there is a way out, but the gap is still there. So the person is still confined. And I think that this is how he feels. So he feels that, okay, so he wants to be there. He feels honored to be there, but it is still something that he was born to do, something that he couldn't come up and say, okay, I want another career, something else. I'm interested in being a doctor, for example. So he couldn't just choose another career. And his path in life was chosen for him, and he was shackled to it. And he realizes that, and he understands that. And I think that this is a good thing, because it's a good thing when a person understands that this is something that he was bound to do, but he still chooses to do. Because he could come up and say, I don't want to, as Edward VIII said. There are ways. They're not good ways. They always create dramas and rifts inside the family, as it did for Harry, as it did for Edward. But there are ways to come up and say, this is not for me, I just want out. And he had brothers and a sister that could have come in his place. So he could have done that. So there is something good about a person that knows that he was born to do something, that he is bound to do that thing, and he still chooses to do that. So I think that it's not such a bad thing that he realizes that this is something that he was bound to do. The next card is the totally unexpected. So what is the totally unexpected factor here? And what we're getting is sorry, it came up in the upside down, but this is the Nine of Sons. The Nine of Sons is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is usually about a person that is persevering, a person that is standing up towards all of the obstacles that are coming his way, a person that can withstand all of those obstacles and can stand them because he knows that he will that he will stand up even though those obstacles are keep on coming his way. But just look at this card, because this is the unexpected, and I think that we know why, because this card has a Leo in it, and you know who is a Leo. A Leo is Meghan Markle, and I think that this is the unexpected factor. The Meghan that keeps on doing unexpected things, that she is the wild card. She's the one who keeps on throwing obstacles at the royal family, at King Charles, and at everyone. And she's the one who is the main threat here. She's the one who holds the sword. She is the one who is threatening the sheep. So she's the one who is she's the wild card here. She is the unexpected factor. But the fact that we have the Nine of Wands here signifies that King Charles can withstand everything that she throws his way. I do hope that he decides to cut them out completely, take away their titles, all of them. Okay, the next card is, how does he really feel? Because this is what he knows in his heart, in his head. But how does he feel in his heart? So what I'm having here is the Emperor. This is the Emperor. Okay, so let's see what is the quatrain of the Emperor. I'm sorry, this is not the Emperor. I didn't see that there is a moon here. The number 4 and the character here. I told you that this deck is confusing. So why did we get this card? This is the 4 of Cups. And the 4 of Cups is a card of doubts. And this is how he feels. He has doubts regarding the continuation of his reign, whether or not he should continue, whether he should abdicate. He has doubts. He thinks about it. He is thinking about it. And he's afraid of acting the wrong way. He's afraid that he's not seeing reality. So he is aware that there is a risk of him not seeing reality as it is. He's aware that there is a risk of him getting to this 3 of Swords energy because of not seeing reality. So he is aware of that. He is afraid that he might that he might make mistakes if he's not seeing reality as it is. He's afraid of listening to wrong advice, and he's afraid of even abandonment. And why do we have this image of an emperor here? Because it signifies, and this is what I read right now, it signifies a person that has reached the top, and now he's looking and he's saying, okay, so what now? So because after you reach the top, after you get to you get to the highest level, there is nothing else to look forward to, then you say, okay, and what's next? What else do I get? What else do I have to work for? And now, so this is really like how do you say that? It's like when you are very excited for something and you are full of anxiety and nervousness, and after this event happens, there is this complete decrease in everything, because you are there, you reached it, you finished it, and then, okay, so what's now? What now? So I think that you get what I meant. So this is how he feels, and these are his feelings right now. So he's doubting everything right now, and he's very much afraid that he will end up in the Three of Swords. So I'm glad that he is not happy. I'm glad that he's not in celebrating. I'm glad that we didn't get here a Three of Cups, or a Ten of Cups, or a Ten of Pentacles. I'm glad that we got the doubts card, because this is good. A person that is not accepting everything as if it is something that should be okay, and this is how it should be, and a person that is doubting everything and is willing to and thinking about not making mistakes, and thinking about not listening to wrong advice, and thinking about not ending up in destruction, is a person that will be very careful. So this is good. This is a very good position. I'm glad. I was afraid that he will be, I will give you just an example from what is happening right now in Israel. As you know, we just had elections. So our elections were just in November, and this government, this very, very bad government, started working in December. In January, they started this judicial reform that they want, and we realized what they want to do, and we started this protest. But we have elections once in 4 years. Now, in these 4 to 5 months that we've been protesting, the coalition that is now having 64 out of 120 seats in our parliament has gone down to 52 in the polls. But the polls are not something that is, something that you can really count on. This is not something that you can even think about, because there are no elections right now. If this government completes the 4 years that they have 4 years to complete what they want, and I don't see how we can go on protesting for 4 years in order to prevent them from what they want to do. So we need to strive into the completion of this government sooner than later. But not even the head of the opposition, one of the opposition parties, one of them, not even the bigger one in the parliament right now, he is now getting the highest votes in the polls. And we keep seeing him, and we call it, he is being smug. He's being smug. And we are very, very worried, because when a person is smug and thinks that he has something that he doesn't really have, because these are votes that are not real. These are votes in polls, and it's not something that you can go to the bank with. So it's nothing. I mean, we still have 3.5 years for the next elections. So it's nothing. So this is a good thing, that King Charles is not smug, he is not celebrating, he is doubting everything, because he is very careful in being a good king, in doing the right thing, in not being overjoyed and not thinking about the things that he might do wrong. He is very careful about doing the right thing. So that is a good thing. Okay, let's move the cards. this way. So the next card is the suggested action. So what is the suggested action for King Charles for his reign? And the suggested action is the Nine of Swords. Interesting, because the Knight of Swords is worry, and it is justified worry. So it's interesting because this is not a good card, and this card is telling King Charles to be very logical. This is a very, very big warning card. And it seems like King Charles's reign is not, I mean, there are too many warning signs here. And this warning sign is telling King Charles to be very, very, very much on top of things, to be very careful, to act logically, not to enter into things that might go wrong, not to be very careful to make the right judgments, not to get into troubles, not to get into unpleasant things. I think that this card is telling him to choose the right thing, and I think that this card is once again telling King Charles that he needs to be very careful in his choices and in what he's choosing to do. And if you're looking at this card, we see another person that looks like a priest, and he has two things in his hands, one scepter with a dove that looks very much like one of the scepters that King Charles held in his coronation. And on the other hand, there are leeks, I think. I'm really interested to look at what they say about this card, so let me just check. Okay, so the description of this card says that this is a papal figure that is balancing three aspects of the world: a branch of peace, the sword of war, if you can see it here in the middle, and the key to the spiritual path, which is the scepter with the dove. This is the key to the spiritual path. And it is about a decision that he will have to make, and a decision that is about to be very difficult and will lead to a sacrifice. And I do think that this is probably regarding Harry and the titles, that he will have to make a very, very difficult decision. And if he makes the wrong decision, it will lead to worry, and it might lead to the Ten of Swords afterwards. So it will lead to a very bad place of pessimism, of failure, of guilt, of anxiety, of depression, of gloom, of being unable to get out of bed. It is really a bad place to be in. But this is another warning card that is telling King Charles to be very aware of. Okay. Next card is the helpful influences. So what is the helpful influences here? And what we're getting is, okay, so it's the abbess. I think it's the Queen of Stars. So the Queen of Swords. Yeah, it's the Queen of Swords. So you know that the Queen of Swords, well, we have a lot of swords here. We have no cups here. And you saw me shuffle quite a lot. We have moons, we have pentacles, we have wands, we have swords, and we have cups. We do have cups. Yes, we have cups. Okay, so we do have feelings here. So the Queen of Swords is the queen that is about social responsibility, and these are the helpful influences. To look at his social responsibility, look at his responsibilities for the people, look at the things that he needs to do for everyone that is dependent on him. Look at his duties. This is about a person that is devoted to everything that is connected to everyone else. This is about devoting yourself to working for others. This is what being a king is. So these are the things that he should think about. These are the things that he needs to do. So these are the helpful influences, and this will help him get through whatever he needs to get through. Okay, so a short-term outcome, and the short-term outcome is the Seven of Cups. So we just talked about cups. So the Seven of Cups is about getting your dreams come true. And it is about having your dreams come true. It is about being able to get your dreams come true. So it's a good card, actually. And it is about dreams that can become a reality. It's about being able to leave your comfort zone, because in order to fulfill your dreams, you need to be able to get out of your comfort zone. These things are not happening because you're just waiting for them to happen. These things are happening because you made them happen. So if you are leaving your comfort zone, if you're doing things in the right way, then your dreams will become a reality, and you won't miss on your opportunities. So he needs to be very careful not to fantasize on things, not to let the fantasies lead him, and to really do things in order to make those dreams come true. But this is a good card, and this is a card that shows us that he will be able to fulfill those dreams. And that is goes very well with the first card that we started with, which was the Seven of Stars. And these are the plans, these are the strategies that he's going to be able to make them reality with the Seven of Cups. And the long-term outcome is, wow, the Four of Stars. That is the Four of Swords. So in the long-term outcome, I can see that he is probably not going to be king for a long time, because the Four of Swords, it's about deciding not to decide. So I'm sorry to say that, and I'm not going to be very clear-cut about it. But when the Four of Swords comes up, and at the end of a Celtic cross, and after so many cards here, and we get the card about deciding not to decide, and we see a person that is usually if you remember how it looks in the Rider Waite, it's a person that is lying in a church on top of a grave, and with four swords on top of him. And we have so many swords here, so it's a lot of swords energy, a lot of air energy here. And the meaning of this card, it's about a person that his process is not clear. It could be also about an illness. It's about a person that can be wounded. It's about a person that needs a remission. So I can say that, according to this card, I could say that at least at the end of this year, something will happen that will cause him to, I don't know if to abdicate, but at least to get out, or to take a time out for a while. Let's see what what Nostradamus says about it. So the quotret, or the couplet the couplet, it's not a quatrain. The couplet that talks about this card, it's two lines, and it starts with evil two. He who opens the newly found tomb and does not immediately close it. And the origin of this card may stem from the story of the Grail. In the ancient myth, a king lies wounded but unable to die, literally held in a suspended state. He awaits the coming of one who will set him free. In Nostradamus imagery, we see a pope about to be pierced by a unicorn's horn. This perfectly represents entering a state of being from which it is hard to return, and which, though it may give one an opportunity to recover from sickness or sorrow, can also become a prison. In some sources, the unicorn was replaced by an image of the Grail. Interesting. So this is what I see, and I have to say that I was holding the Oracle of the Unicorns a few moments ago, and then I decided to go with the golden Nostradamus Oracle instead. But this is the Celtic cross. Okay, so let's see what the golden Nostradamus Oracle says. And then we'll go to the Chronicles of Destiny. Okay. King Charles's reign. King Charles's reign. 25, it's fish, and let's see what it says. So the fish, once you have let gossip fly, these tells you can never again belly. Silence will bring counsel and will not expose you to the attacks of others. Stop often and think. Stand still and reflect quietly. It will lead to the discovery of the right path to be taken. Okay. So it seems like there will be gossip and there will be talks about King Charles during his reign. There is already gossip. I mean, I can say that before the coronation, I saw articles about his hands, about his fingers. Okay, so the Chronicles of Destiny. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. Just look at this look. It opens like a book. And sorry. Fell down. So let's shuffle it. Okay, let's clear the deck. King Charles's reign. King Charles's reign. Okay, interlude. Interesting. Let's see what it means. When interlude appears, it suggests a time for rest in order to gather inner strength. In work or material matters, this could also show that physical resources need to be pulled together or consolidated at this time. Whilst the waterfall indicates healing or going with the flow and allowing events to unfold, the interlude card is a pause in activity to rest. In relationships readings, this may indicate taking a step back or time out. If things have been heated or strained, if waterfall and interlude appear together side by side, it can suggest convalences. Okay, but we don't have the waterfall here, we have only the interlude, so this is about a time out, a pause, a rest. So, and this is what the oracle says. Interesting. So this is it for this reading. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment. And just one more thing, two of the winners of the giveaway already contacted me, but this third one, Jody, did not. So if you're listening, please do. Or not. If you don't, I will do another draw for the one more deck that is left. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.